Hello everyone. In this video, I will discuss with you the importance and types of concept mapping which you can use in your teaching. And I'm sure once you start using concept mapping in your class, it will make your lesson interesting and the students will engage. So now let's start first with what is concept mapping. Concept map, as the word itself give us its meaning, concept map is a kind of graphical tool, right? It is a kind of graphical representation of your information which is being organized in a form that you can represent to your student, right? And it includes certain kind of concept, usually enclosed in circle, boxes, triangles, lines and arrows, and basically in which there is a relationship between one or two concepts and it indicates the connection between these two concepts. Right now, if I talk of the different type of concept map, there are numerous ways you can use concept mapping in your teaching. Whether you are teaching maths, you are teaching science, you are teaching Hindi, you are teaching any subject, you can use concept map. So now let's start with a journey of different type of concept map which you can use in your teaching. So first example I have given over here is the cause and effect. Cause and effect, one of the types of concept mapping which you can use in your teaching. Basically when you have certain kind of problems and looking for solution, right? When you are teaching such kind of concept to your student, you can use this kind of concept mapping in the form of diagram by using rectangle or triangle and which can be beautifully represented. And most importantly, when we talk of the benefit of concept mapping, it helps us to retain the information, to recall the information and definitely to revisualize the information. So talking first about the type of concept map, we have a concept and cause and effect with us. So in the cause and effect, how you can use this in your teaching. Suppose I'm teaching one of the topic to my student. Let's take an example nowadays. If we talk of COVID-19, this is the whole topic which we are dealing with nowadays, and I want to teach this concept to my student. I want them to understand the COVID-19 situation, what are the problems associated with this, what are the causes behind this, and what could be the probable solution for this. And for that, I think the concept to teach this concept, cause and effect is one of the best way, right? One of the best type of concept mapping, or rather I would say. So here what you can do, you can start with the problem over here. You can have one rectangle, right? And here you can have a problem. You can write down the problem associated with your topic, and then you can have causes for that particular problem. Like here I have given an example of water supply shortage, right? So what are the causes behind the water supply shortage? You can add the causes, and then below this problem you can have a solutions, right? So you can, instead of giving the same topic in the statement in the paragraph form, you can represent very beautifully in a diagrammatic form. So after that, the solution, you can have result. So this is one of the ways of concept mapping you can use in your teaching. Another type of concept map which you can use in your teaching is classify, right? And like if we talk of science, we talk of maths, we talk of social science, we talk of physical education, we talk of language. The classifying is, I think, one of the concept which we all come across with. And so to teach such kind of concept to your student, like where the classifying kind of concepts are there, you can use this kind of concept mapping. Here you can easily see in the square box, you can have the main topic which you want to teach, the concept, and then which will be extended with different branches. Like here I have taken example of literature. So literature, different types of literature. We have non-fiction and then fiction, and then after that, once I have extended to non-fiction and fiction, it has been extended to other branches by using different circles. So this way you can use concept mapping when you are teaching cause and effect relationship, when you are talking of classifying, right? And another way of representing classifying information to your student is you can have a classification table with us, right? And for the classification table, you can make it in a diagram form. You can have one table where you can type the main type of the topic, like with the examples you want to teach, and then extend it with the different types, and then here you will give them example. So if presenting the information in such a long statement, if I'm going to present this information in table form, definitely the students will having a long lasting learning. Another type of concept mapping is your comparison and contrasting type of topics which you are teaching. So you can have a circles, like where you can have a pie diagram. In the center you can have some of the common features of that concept, and then outside this circle, like in the circle itself, outside your common area, you can have the examples, or you can have the features which are not common to that particular topic, right? And another type of concept mapping is like here you can use a matrix. Again, you can have a two concept over here, and then you can extend it with the different features. You can add the features over here. So you can make a matrix to teach compare and contrast type of concept to your student. Next type of concept mapping, which is very interesting, and personally I like this, that's a word map. We all come across with lots of terminology, either it is a science, social science, English, Hindi, but our students are struggling with vocabulary when it comes to synonym, when it comes to antonym, when it comes to different formation of sentences, using formation sentences in different contexts. Then how we can use this? The best way to represent this is using word web. And to use this word web, what you're going to do, you just have a main word, the terminology of which you want to teach your student. That word will be in the center, or I'll say that's something in the rectangle form, and then you can extend it with a definition, synonym of the word happy, antonym, and then you can extend it with different example. So now here what you can see, like the same information I have put it in a visual form, which is really easy to remember also, and also it is very interesting. And one thing also I want to add over here, if you're looking for online assignments, because nowadays everybody is struggling with how we can give online assignment to your student, I think this is one of the best way you can go ahead. Right now we are coming to next type of concept map, that is describing. Here you can have, like you can have something, the concept is there and you want to extend it. You want to teach your student the definition, characteristic, examples and non-example of that particular concept. Then this type of graphic organizer, or what I say, the concept map, really works well. So for this you can have a triangle in center, which will be extended to definition, characteristics, examples and non-example. Alright, the next type of concept mapping we have is the sequencing. As we all know, like we have a timelines, we like what happened first, then what happened second, third, fourth, and so on. And when it comes to date, if you talk about myself, I'm very poor in remembering the dates. When did the first World War first happen, when did the Second World War happen, and so on. And if you will teach to your students sequencing by using such kind of graphic organizer, they will never forget the dates, which I usually had in my times. But once you come up with this concept mapping, it will really be very helpful, it will be really very interesting, it will be very engaging. So you can represent the information when you have some kind of timelines, when you have some kind of sequence, then you can represent information in this way, right? The next important type of concept map is story grid. as a language teacher, we all struggle with, who are the main characters in the story, in the narratives, in our literature part, and what were main events, and where the event happened and what happened next. So we all juggling with the memorizing the sequence. But if you teach your student the concept of this by using story grid, I'm sure they will never forget. For this, what you can do, you can take just 3 or 4 topics with you. Okay, just write down the main headings which you want your student to remember. Like here I have taken example of, like, you can have a chapter title over here, right? You can include characters, who are the main characters who involved in this, setting, where and when did it happen, main events associated with that chapter, what, why. You can have prediction also, and then what next. So so this way you can represent the information to your student. Another way of representing the same information when it talks about the story. Story is something which our children really love to listen, and which is really very engaging also. But at some time when it comes to our teachings, when the student has to memorize or to recall the basic components or the sequence of that story, then somehow we really stuck upon, right? And just to come out with that problem, we can have a story map with us. And who don't know how to draw hut, right? When somebody tell us or say us, okay, just draw a heart or draw something, whatever comes first in your mind, the first thing which comes in your mind is a hut, tree, or it could be lake, something like that. So to just represent the information of your story to your student, you can use those drawing with you. That's basically I have represented in the form of hut. So you can have a hut. Here the main chimney part will be about your characters, who are the main characters of that story. Then setting, where the story happened, when did the story happen. So these kind of things can have at the top roof part of your hut. Then what are the problem associated with that story, because every story in fact has a problem. Then what actions are being taken up by the characters or the persons who are involved in that story. What are the outcome of the story, and what is your prediction. So you can easily see, like, this story map is really telling us the sequence of the story as well, because at the top you have character, and the outer part, the exit part, is representing your prediction. That's where your story ends. So this way you can very beautifully represent the information in the graphic form. Another form is about the cycle. When we have a water cycle, we teach some kind of process to our student, then we can use such kind of graphic organizer and we can give the information to our student. We can have graphic organizers with some kind of picture, with some kind of additional information. Right? So that's over some of the different types of concept map, which is basically a kind of graphic organizers which you can use in your classroom. But now it's now a time for you to act. So just pause and think. This is basically a practice session where, based on the grade you are teaching, the subject you are teaching, use any one type of graphic organizer which I have just discussed. And don't forget to explain why you have chosen this type of graphic organizer. So that's all about concept mapping, and thanks for watching me. And now I'm just waiting for the next video. So let's see, like, just pin me up, subscribe me, and I will be coming up with the next video on teaching, which will really make your work so easy. So thank you so much. Thank you.